All right, let's hurry up and get through this so we can get back to our loved ones.
What?
Just joking, babes.
What?
I don't know. I was thinking of that Simpsons episode where they have the family meeting, and Homer says, "Okay, everybody, let's hurry up and get through this so we can get back to our families." And everybody just starts laughing.
Because he was having a meeting with his own family?
Yeah.
I don't remember that one, but that's pretty funny.
That's a fun episode. Or at least a scene. I don't remember what show that was incorporated into as far as episode number or anything.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I remember I did have a Simpsons shirt that said family bonding.
Nice.
And I think I used to wear it to sleep.
I don't know if I had any memorabilia from that show, but I really liked it.
I had a Simpsons pin, and on the pin it said, "Why you little?"
Oh my goodness.
Why you little? I don't know. It's just one of Homer's famous
sayings as he's choking Bart.
Yeah. Why you little? Oh, that show was fun in the early days.
It's interesting that you could have a running gag in a TV family show on mainstream television where the father tries to choke the son or is choking him.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we didn't really think about that back then for some reason. We just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
And and they were on Butterfinger commercials and
of course.
Yeah, and I mean, they were they were iconic in the late 80s, early 90s.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, more in the early 90s because the late 80s, it was just, for the most part, the Tracy Ullman show.
Right, the Simpson shorts. But they were fun too. Mm-hmm. But when they became, an actual show in 89, and, it was like all the people who like the Simpsons would talk about Thursdays being Simpsons night when it used to be Sundays.
Right.
And by 1990 it moved to Thursdays, and then a lot of us liked In Living Color, and that was on Sundays. I mean, that was a part of our childhood.
And yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The whole Fox thing was.
It was.
Yeah. And now there's not really this loyalty to networks. Well, I say that, but who am I to speak? Because I love HBO. Mm-hmm. I watch a lot of movies on HBO. They have great documentaries, but also cool TV shows still. Uh-huh. That's got to be really hard to program a network because it's more than just making a choice on one or two programs.
Yeah.
You got to really know what you're doing and know how much leeway to give creators, also being aware of when to step in and tell them to pull back a little bit. Uh-huh. That's got to be a very tough job.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. If you're like a network executive or a network producer, and you have to figure out too, right? Which show is going to stay on into the next season and which show is going to be canceled.
But also, and this is less of an issue now, which shows to pair together. So The Simpsons is great, but do you really want to have, I don't know, the X-Files on right after it?
Right.
And I know that they did that in the 90s. It wasn't like right on after it. There was always that show that was in the middle of it. Uh-huh. But how do you segue shows? That's an interesting. I mean, again, that's less of a thing now with the internet and streaming. But back then, that was a big thing.
Yeah. So I wonder what because HBO has a streaming service, which I do not use, but you do.
Yeah.
How is that affecting their network? Is it because some people still watch HBO on TV?
Absolutely.
How is that affecting their network? Is it good for their network, or are people now just switching to streaming services and networks may be obsolete, or maybe they won't be obsolete and you can just stream it on the internet?
My assumption is that eventually they're going to go away from cable and HBO will just be an internet streaming company. I don't know that for sure. And I can't speak to them, but I remember when Disney Plus came out, I heard some report that within the first 3 months, the Disney Channel lost about a quarter of its viewership to the streaming service.
With the Disney Channel for kids and Disney Channel for teens.
And it got so bad that in Europe, I think they even shut down the Disney Channel. You can't get it there anymore.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So I personally think that it would have been good if there was Because there are some stuff that has been sponsored by Disney, or maybe um what do you call it, studios that were bought out by Disney that are not suitable for kids, and they could just keep those channels for kids if that's what they wanted to watch, and just have like another streaming service for kids. I don't know.
Well, that's what Disney Plus is, because they also, even though they don't own Hulu completely, they own the majority of the stock, and they run it.
Yeah.
I think that they should merge the two services and maybe just make their parental controls a little bit better. That's why I tend to watch the Disney Plus from Europe with a VPN, is because they have a lot more shows that you don't get over here on Disney Plus.
Right. But I think parents should have the options of having parental controls if their kids are trying to find something good to watch.
Absolutely, but it does feel like a bit of a cash grab when one company, you actually have to pay for 3 different services if you're a sports fan, because they also own ESPN, and ESPN has its separate streaming service.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's confusing to me. I don't know, but anyway, The Simpsons. Good show in its early days. We both think that it should already be done, because it's been years and years and years, and it's
that. By the way, that's the consensus for most people.
34 years, Bubs. 34 years. I thought it was going to be done after 15 years.
I thought it would be over 10 years into it, but when TV executives find something that works, they milk it for all they can. Look at Law and Order.
Oh, that's true. Well, Sesame Street was also one of the longest running children's programming shows.
I think it just got canceled.
Wow.
Because it was on PBS for like 50 years.
Oh.
Wow. And then like 4 or 5 years ago, it went over to HBO.
Which I never understood. I thought it maybe should have, it could have stayed on.
Well, they didn't have enough money at PBS.
Oh.
Yeah.
They couldn't support it. Oh, wow.
Because less people are supporting.
Wow. Well, I guess, if they really wanted to find classic Sesame Street, there's always a bunch of stuff on YouTube too.
And I think you can watch pretty much all of it on HBO.
Wow.
Don't quote me on that, because it's not like I've been watching Sesame Street in recent decades.
Well, moms can watch it with their toddlers on HBO. Do they have it?
Yes. They can go from that straight to The Wire.
Oh my goodness.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I do remember when HBO was a full-on network, and they also had HBO Kids. So, sometimes on Saturday mornings we would watch some kids shows on HBO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting with PBS. I once heard a speaker. You never listened to alternative radio?
Depending on what you're talking about.
No, the show Alternative Radio.
No.
Okay, David Barsamian hosts it, but he pretty much just gives an introduction. And I believe he lives in Boulder, Colorado. But what he does is each week he'll air speeches from different people. And years and years ago, maybe 2010 or 11, it might have even been earlier than that, I was listening to a speech on alternative radio, and a person was making the point that it's great that we have public television here in the United States, but it would be nice if it was more like BBC, where if it was like the BBC, where PBS put on more captivating programs. And we love that it's educational, but if they were just a little bit more interesting, there would probably be a lot more people tuning into it, and it would increase the support of PBS. I personally like PBS a lot, but I don't watch it that much.
I never really watched PBS a lot. I mean, a lot of times I watched it, for class, in educational settings. I didn't really watch a lot of Nova, but I know that it's good to teach, for teaching kids about science.
Yeah.
I most of the time when I watched PBS, it was for children's programming when I was really little, but I didn't watch it for anything else usually. I didn't watch the McNeil News Hour, or whatever is it, McNeil and Lara News Hour, I think it was.
Back in the day, that's what it was.
Yeah, because it was Yeah, but I do also like, as I've gotten older, I will say this because I don't watch PBS much, but I do like their live concerts.
Those are good.
Those are good.
I like Frontline a lot.
What is Frontline?
The way I describe it to people is saying it's like if 60 Minutes was on PBS.
Oh.
Because it's usually one subject per show, but they really delve into it like a 60 Minutes would.
You know, I've been really getting into 60 Minutes Australia. I haven't watched a lot of episodes, but it's really interesting.
They got some good stuff. I'll check it out once in a while.
I like the way that they do 60 Minutes in Australia because the way that they do 60 Minutes now in the US, which I'm not saying it's bad, but it seems like the kind of stuff that older people would watch.
It's always been that way, but
it's always been that way.
It's a little bit mixed with 60 Minutes because a lot of times now, and not every time, they still do good stories, but a lot of times it's a sponsor driven thing. And I'm not just meaning like, oh, obviously you have advertised breaks, but I believe they were caught like 10 years ago. The military paid a lot of money for them to do a pro-military story. It's something crazy like that. So you can buy a segment on 60 Minutes where they'll do a piece on something.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But I do like the Australia version.
I like I used to watch 60 Minutes a little bit when I was younger, but I kind of steered away from that. And I think I watched it when Mike Wallace was still alive.
He was great.
He was, and Morley Safer, and now they're all gone.
I know.
Harry Reisner, Morley Safer, Mike Wallace, the good old hosts were gone.
Harry Reisner has been gone for a minute, though.
Yes.
I think he died in the early 80s, right?
No, I think it was... No, because I remember him.
Okay, so I've seen him on YouTube, but I don't remember watching him.
I think it was either the 80s or the 90s. It was one of those, because I think I do remember him on a broadcast of 60 Minutes, or an episode of 60 Minutes.
I recall seeing a piece that he did for 60 Minutes in 1978 after the first Christopher Reeve Superman movie came out. Wow. And he was talking about the dangers to the film industry from piracy.
Huh, wow.
And how you could buy video cassettes on the street that were almost pristine copies of films that were in theaters.
Bootleg copies.
Yes.
That's crazy.
It is.
What was I going to say?
Was it about Australia 60 Minutes?
No. But yeah, I do remember, the one thing I did like about 60 Minutes, and I don't think we discussed it, we may have discussed it here. I love the Andy Rooney segments at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't do those anymore because he's dead.
I know, at 92. But he was able to do his last segment.
And he died like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, which was perfect, timing for the last segment to air.
Mm-hmm.
But I do remember, like, he would give his take on things. It's kind of interesting.
Do you ever watch the old Nightbeat shows on YouTube?
Nightbeat?
Yeah.
I never even heard of it.
Okay. It's an interview show from the 1950s that Mike Wallace used to host.
Oh, wow.
And he had a bunch of different people. I think he had Salvador Dali was on there once. Ayn Rand was on there. A bunch of other people, too. I think he did an interview with Frank Lloyd Wright as well.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. And you found a bunch of stuff on YouTube?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were they good?
I liked it, but I'm also into weird stuff, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that Mike Wallace, I didn't listen to a lot of his interviews, but he was known for being a very good interviewer.
Yeah, I heard he was a bit of a dick in real life, but he did some great stuff. I loved watching him on 60 Minutes.
Now, was Charlie Rose a good interviewer? You like the show?
Oh my God. I know you're not supposed to say that you like Charlie Rose these days.
Yeah, because he was Me Too'd.
Because he was Me Too'd. To this day, he's still one of my favorite talk show hosts. I think his interview style was brilliant. I loved watching Charlie Rose interview people.
I saw clips of Mike Wallace interviewing Don Imus, and Don Imus was like over the top,
racist dude. And
well, so I I heard about that story. I also heard clips of his interaction with Charles McCord, because Charles McCord was his partner, his co-host.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because it almost sounded like they were this old couple that was fighting all the time. I mean, Charles McCord would get so irritated with Don, and he would just tell him to shut up.
Oh my god!
And it was just so funny because Don would just start laughing and laughing, and he was like, "I just wanted to say no, shut up." Just their interaction was just so funny.
Yeah.
Because Charles McCord would just fly off the handle, and because he was so irritated with Don, and it was just kind of a funny back and forth. I heard clips of it, and I did not listen to Don Imus, but a lot of people did.
I tried to give his show a chance. It just didn't appeal to me. It was for people who are a lot older. And I remember even trying to watch it on MSNBC because they had it on for a while.
Yeah.
But they would do this weird thing to where sometimes they'd have MSNBC simulcasting it when the Don Imus's show was in commercial. But they weren't really doing anything. And then when they got back from commercial on his radio show, MSNBC would go to commercial. So it seemed very like hit and miss. I couldn't really get into it.
Okay. Well,
and I heard that he was a mean guy in real life.
Well, I heard, so I don't know much about this guy. I heard that he is an equal opportunity offender.
Oh.
So I think he supported Bill Clinton, and after a while he was just completely dissing Bill Clinton in public. It wasn't like, nobody was he had no respect of persons when it came to making fun of people. That's what it sounded like.
Now, we do have a mutual friend who told me that he's a pretty big Don Imus fan.
We do?
Yes. And I will say this, the friend that we know who is very, very intelligent.
Okay.
Yeah. Not great with the ladies, but,
Oh, right. Okay.
Yes.
Smart in areas, but some areas, but...
Very nice person and very intelligent.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good.
There we go there. Jaylo.
Okay. I think I understand.
Yeah, I think you know.
I think I know.
Yeah. But did you ever watch 60 Minutes 2?
No, is there a part 1?
It was the Wednesday night spinoff of the original 60 Minutes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I think it aired from 99 to like 2005.
Wow.
Yeah, and it actually had Charlie Rose. And 60 Minutes 2 is what got Dan Rather fired from CBS.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was he fired for again? I thought I heard about that. I just can't remember what it was.
Okay. It's the lead up to the 2004 presidential elections. And Dan Rather got a hold of George W. Bush's military record. Because you know how rich people always like to say, oh, well, I served in the draft and, I was a soldier and all this stuff. And George W. Bush was like a reserved Coast Guard. Mm-hmm. So like once every month he would like volunteer on the weekends to make sure nobody drowned at like a beach or something.
Uh-huh.
And Dan Rather reported on this, and I think there was a discrepancy in the dates that George W. Bush was in the military. So it wasn't that...
He obtained it.
Well, he obtained it, but it wasn't that his records were all false, but like the date that George W. Bush left the Coast Guard, Dan Rather reported it as a year earlier than it actually was. Uh-oh. And the Bush administration freaked out and got him fired from CBS. Uh-oh. Technically he resigned, but they put a lot of pressure on CBS to make sure that he resigned.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I did not watch 60 Minutes 2.
It was okay. It's not as good as the original.
I just watched the ones on that was on Sunday night.
Yeah, me too.
When I was able to, so.
I mean, I would tune in occasionally, but not as much as the original.
Right. No, I didn't even know about that because I didn't watch CBS a lot.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always been the old people channel.
I know, and it's true. It really, I watched some sitcoms on CBS, and I watched some Saturday morning stuff, but never like the primetime stuff that much, except for maybe 48 Hours and maybe a little bit of 60 Minutes, but that's about it.
I remember once on 60 Minutes Australia, they did a piece. I wish I remember the country this was in, about some kid who his mom told him to stay home, but he went to like a market to hang out for the day, and then he couldn't find his way back to his home. He eventually gets adopted, and then he goes on years, and he finds a great adopted mother in London or someplace.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was Australia.
Okay.
And like 15 years later, he becomes a reality TV star because he goes on some singing competition show. Wow. And then decides to track down his birth mother.
Whoa.
This might have actually been in the Philippines, his home country, but I could be wrong with that.
In the Philippines?
I might have been. I could be wrong.
Oh.
Yeah.
But he ended up in Australia.
It was something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't remember the specifics.
That is a crazy story.
Yeah.
There was also another story that I didn't hear all of it, but it was about these women that wanted to do whatever they could to have babies when they were older. And there was a doctor that was speaking out against it. And it was like, there is a reason why women stop producing at a certain age. And it's very, it's not good for women to do that.
No.
Especially when they can't, because what they do, I guess what they do is they give them these hormones, and it's supposed to make them feel like they're actually pregnant, and they're, that they've ovulated and then they're pregnant. Like there was a story in the US, and I thought this was very strange. This woman and her husband wanted to have a baby, but she couldn't conceive. So her mom volunteered to be the surrogate, which I thought was kind of strange.
That's a little bit cray.
I don't understand it either.
Yeah.
I don't understand it either. I'm not sure about that. I don't know how that works. But she was able to give birth to their child. So I thought, okay, maybe she's thinking that she's being used as a vessel for the child, but I still don't understand it.
Yeah. I don't like that.
Yeah, I just think that the best thing to do in this situation, I think, is to adopt, because the surrogacy industry can be very, very sketchy, because if you're paying someone to carry your child, things can go wrong, or the person something like that. Like I heard that it could be not in the best interest of the child.
It seems a little bit nutty to me. I remember maybe 10, 15 years ago, there was a news story about a woman in her mid-60s who had twins, and obviously she was pumped up on a lot of hormones.
Yeah.
And like 5 years later, she ended up dying of cancer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That just doesn't sound safe.
No.
Because those hormones, the younger woman naturally produces it when she's pregnant. She ovulates and then she's pregnant, and she has all these hormones that come along with it, and those hormones should not be in a much older woman.
Also, who wants to be in their late 60s and chasing around some little kids all the time?
Well, wait. That kid was supposed to be your child?
She had twins.
No, but they were her children. They weren't for somebody else.
No, they were for her.
I heard about women being surrogates like more than once for families, which I never got that.
Your buddy Diane was that way, right? Gowns?
She did it, I think, once. I don't know what the screening process is to find surrogates to carry babies, but she gave birth to the second baby, and that baby was taken from her because they knew that she could possibly harm her baby, and she shouldn't be taking care of kids. But the other one was successful. The first one that she carried was successful.
Oh, good.
And got adopted out.
Nice.
But the second one, who, her name was supposed to be Amy Elizabeth, but she was adopted and named Rebecca. And that she kind of tried to find her mom, and that just went south.
Imagine you try to find your birth parent and you think, well, maybe they became a captain of industry, and then you find out that your mom is somebody who killed another one of her kids.
Yeah, and well, I saw the story on Becky, her daughter, and she thought that she was going to be like her mom. And she was just freaking out because she found out about her.
Oh, she thought that Diane was going to be like the adoptive mom was.
No. No, she had a good family.
Yeah, but she thought that when she met Diane, that Diane was going to be like her adoptive mom was.
What? No. You're
okay,
not listening.
Explain it.
She thought that she was going to become like Diane because that's her mom.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
And she was kind of acting out as a teen because she didn't know how to deal with it. And remember in the book when she was writing to Diane?
I do.
And it just turned weird quickly and she just decided not to correspond with her anymore? Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, she thought that she was going to become Diane.
Oh, wow. That's super weird.
Not the adoptive mom.
Nice.
It sounded to me that she came from a really good adoptive family.
That's good.
Yeah. But anyway.
Better than being abused there, Jaylo.
But anywho, why don't we talk about what happened yesterday? Because we had a good day.
Oh, I was actually going to talk about the book, but what happened yesterday?
Well, you can talk about the book. You read it yesterday.
That's true. I have been reading more of Behind the Golden Arches by, is it John F. Love? I think is the author's name. Mm. There's some pretty unique stuff in this book that I never really would have considered. It was talking about the management style of Ray Kroc. And I think I might mention this here, how he let his executives basically do what they thought was best to a certain point. And, one of the guys had come up with this scheme of, this is how we can buy the land that the restaurants are owned, and it's going to give us a lot more power and money in the long run. Mm-hmm. I guess I shouldn't say scheme, an idea. He does that. The company goes public in 1965. And by then, Ray Kroc, I believe, had moved out to California to establish a McDonald's more on the West Coast. It had started out in California, but it wasn't as popular as it was in other regions of the country. Mm-hmm. So, for stock purposes, the company has to have a CEO. And they make the guy who came up with the plan of buying the land the CEO. I forget his name. Mm-hmm. And there's all these conflicts. He ends up leaving McDonald's and selling his stock a couple years after they went public for $12 million, which is great. But the author said in the book, which was written in 86, that had he held on to his stock, it would have been worth $700 million by 1986.
Wow.
Yeah. Huh. He did well, but he didn't do that well.
Yeah. Interesting.
But it was getting into the franchisees, and it talked about how Willard Scott was the first Ronald McDonald, and he kind of helped develop that character with the help of some of the franchisees in the Washington, D.C. area. But something else that was fascinating, McDonald's didn't develop all their techniques of doing things, meaning that they hired outside companies to help them with. So like a good example, in the book, they talk about how they had issues with their fries. They can make them 9 months out of the year. And I believe the other 3 months, what they would do is they'd buy russet potatoes and freeze them, or they'd buy lesser quality potatoes and just hope it would work out.
Yeah.
And one of the people who was supplying them with potatoes thought there must be a better way to do this. So he invested $400,000 in a method of making better fries, and it didn't work out. And he didn't tell McDonald's, Ray Kroc, that he was doing this, so they weren't on the hook financially. But this guy didn't give up. He kept at it, and he found a method that worked. But because he's only one company, the way McDonald's worked is everybody who works within the company shares their secrets. So he had to share how he made these russets last, or taste better year round to other potato companies who were supplying McDonald's.
Wow.
But they said that it paid off for him because by 1986, his company was worth $700 million. And he was the biggest potato supplier to McDonald's.
Oh, wow.
They also talk about freezing hamburger buns because at McDonald's...
Hamburgers, you mean?
Yeah, hamburger patties.
Hamburger patties, yeah.
They used to make them fresh.
Uh-huh.
But that created some issues. And one of the companies that supplied them with beef worked and spent a couple $1 million, but eventually found this way to freeze the buns or the patties where they wouldn't lose any of their flavor.
Oh, wow.
By freezing them super fast.
Huh.
And they said that his company was worth like $2 billion by the time the book was published.
Wow.
So now, in some ways, the book feels like propaganda because there's a lot of pro-McDonald's stories in there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also really interesting. They claim that with a lot of their vendors, it would be like a handshake deal. So if I were to sell you hamburger patties and you were to make large orders, I'd just say, okay, we're going to do this. We'll pay you this much money for it. And instead of having a formal contract, let's shake on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much of that is true. I'm assuming if it was, it's probably changed significantly since then. But it's interesting to read. They also talk about the franchisees. They were telling this story about this black man, Tom something, I forget his last name, in Chicago, who worked at a barbershop. He might have owned it. And he closed it to start a McDonald's in that same neighborhood. And he was very connected to the community. And they said that the neighborhood was going downhill fast. But when he opened the McDonald's, other restaurants started to open nearby. And it kind of rejuvenated the community. And he ended up owning 6 McDonald's and becoming a multimillionaire. So it's a really interesting book. What do you think of what I've said so far?
It sounds interesting.
Yeah.
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 I mean, it may not be propaganda. Maybe there is a lot of truth to it. How Ray Kroc did business, how franchisees did business.
Mm-hmm.
McDonald's definitely is not a perfect restaurant by any means, and neither is the other ones. But it sounds like you could appreciate where they came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm liking it there.
And that I still like their fries.
Yeah, their fries are great.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna.
No, you can't hate on the fries.
No, and I do like a burger occasionally.
It's been over a decade since I've had a double quarter pounder with cheese minus the tomato.
Ooh.
I don't even.
They do.
Yeah.
They do have double quarter pounders.
Yeah, but they probably do. They add tomatoes on them still.
You could opt out without. You could opt out the tomato and the onions if you don't want it.
Nice. I don't mind the onions.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind the onions, so I'm not going to talk to anybody after I eat them. So, no.
Yeah, no.
And they even add bacon to their quarter pounders, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they do.
Okay. They might have had that back when I was eating quarter pounders.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like one once in a while.
Oh, good.
But anywho, let's talk about where I am in the book.
Tell me.
So
11/22/63.
So our character Jake Epping / George Amberson in that part of Maine. I guess he's in Durham, Maine now. Gets out of the cabin, meets with the Columns because he's like, how am I gonna do this without actually stopping, without actually getting rid of Andrew Cullum. Gets the cribbage board from Brownies. I'm guessing that must be like a convenience store, maybe. I don't know. 'Cause that's where he got some sodas and things like that.
Yeah, I think you said that yesterday too.
Okay. So gets a cribbage board, convinces Andrew and Marnie Cullum to come in and learn about cribbage, but he said, "Hey Andrew, I'd like to work with you on November 5th. We work for a few hours and I pay you $200. And he's like, "What?" And they're thinking, "What? Why?"
Yeah.
And eventually he's like, you could do a lot with $200, and he's thinking about the groceries and how they have a young baby.
Yeah. As opposed to an old baby or middle-aged one.
Oh my goodness.
Keep going, babes.
Bubs.
I'm just trusting you.
An infant, Bubs, an infant.
Okay.
Always a funny man.
Funny man. Keep going.
Funny man. So he convinces the Cullums to let him come over, and they play out on the back porch first. And then she makes some lunch, and she says, "You know what? Why don't you guys come inside and finish your game?"
Mm-hmm.
And she decides, okay, George is not a bad guy. He really wants to do something nice for us. Finishes the game, learns how to play it, and while they're playing the game, they hear somebody shooting in the woods. So it's it's going on. So they have dinner, and they have a good time. And then George gets ready to leave. He goes outside. Marnie comes out after him as he's walking to his car, and she asks him, "So what are you?" What did you save him from? That's what I was going to say. Bubs.
Sorry.
Bubs.
Okay.
Don't interrupt, please.
Sorry, go ahead.
What are you saving him from? And he said, why? He's like, well, I prayed on it, and I really think that God sent me a guardian angel. What are you saving him from? And I forgot what his answer was.
I remember.
What is it?
If God wanted you to know, he would have told you.
Oh, that's right. If God wanted you to know, he would have told you. And she took that to mean that George Amberson was their guardian angel, and she gave him a hug, and she went back inside to be with Andrew and their baby.
Yes,
and that's where I left off.
Oh,
yeah,
nice. I love that scene.
It is.
Yeah, that's a great scene, and I love that Andrew. He shot this little girl, and you find out that you realize that it's an accident. Like, he's a really good guy.
He's a really nice guy. He's taking care of his wife and his family.
Yeah.
He really, you find out just by their interaction that he probably didn't mean to do it.
Well, he even says something like, when I met them, I realized that Carolyn Palin wasn't going to be the only victim that day.
Yeah.
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 Because, the implication being that they were going to suffer too because of it. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And when she asked him, what did you save him from? I was like, whoa, wow.
Yep.
That's a great scene.
It is.
It
is.
So he's heading out of there. That's where I left off.
Oh, you still got a lot of book left, young lady. More than halfway there. Jaylo.
Oh, I know, Bubs.
More than half of the book left.
More than half of the book. Wow, I haven't gotten started yet. Well, I started.
Well, you've gotten started, but
there's still more.
There's still a lot more left.
Still a lot more.
Yeah, there's so many characters you're about to meet.
Well, I mean, he mentioned Lee and Marina Oswald, which is kind of interesting because he said on the other side, on one side there's the Cullums, and on the other side there's the Oswalds, and they're total opposites.
Mm-hmm.
Lee and Marina's marriage isn't doing very well, and the Cullums' marriage seems to be doing well. It's kind of interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what he said about what Al said about Lee and Marina Oswald and what he noticed about them, I'm like, oh wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anywho,
they did a sitcom about Eva Braun and Adolf Hitler.
They did?
Yes, called Heil Hitler, I'm Home, where Hitler moves to New Jersey with Eva Braun, I believe.
Whoa. And when did this come out?
In the early 2000s, I want to say. It was on the BBC, and it did not last long.
I never heard of that one.
You can find it on YouTube, yeah.
Wow.
And I believe one of the running gags is their next door neighbors is a Jewish couple.
Jeez.
Like the Goldsteins, I think.
I don't know how they were able to get away with that.
Well, it didn't last. And
Heil Hitler.
Yes.
Wow. That's a pretty gutsy move.
That is.
Did you watch some of it?
I watched like 5 minutes and I'm like, no, I ain't feeling it. But
it would be a funny it would be a funny premise, but
it's a funny premise. I don't think it was executed that well.
What did you see that you didn't like about it?
It didn't make me laugh beyond the premise.
Wow.
Yeah. But do you think they'll ever do a sitcom about Lee and Maria Osmond?
Oswald.
Oswald, I'm sorry.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
I'm
Marie
dyslexic.
Oswald. No, you're thinking about a totally different family.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think that they would.
Oh, I hope not.
Just like I don't think they would start I don't think they would do a sitcom on Mark David Chapman either.
I hope not. That would be weird, though.
That would be very weird. Oh, can you imagine a sitcom about Ted Bundy?
That would be funny.
It would be funny, really? I don't know how you can make that funny.
Nobody wants to get in the car with him. He comes back from the dead, and he keeps offering. He's an Uber driver now. And he can't figure out why he keeps getting all these bad reviews.
And meanwhile, you see the other side of it where he has an expanding fan club.
Yeah, so here's what happens. We find out that he wasn't really killed. He escaped from prison. And now he comes out of hiding, and the government says, due to technicalities, we can no longer charge you, and unfortunately, you're free to go. But he needs to make a living, so Ted becomes an Uber driver. But nobody wants to ride with him.
Oh my goodness.
And it's about that, and also he goes down to his local bar to commiserate with people about how there's no good work, and he has trouble meeting women. And he survives off money that people from his fan club in Japan sent him. So he's also trying to get like a mail order bride.
Well, where does Anne Rule fit into this?
Maybe one of the things is at the end of each episode, he writes a letter to Anne saying, "Dear Anne, this is what went on," and it's a recap of what happened in that particular episode. Even though she's passed away now, and we could call it something like killer dating, killing them softly. I don't know.
Oh no. Maybe we should call it
Ted Ain't Dead.
Or Killer Ted. I don't know.
Yeah. Good stuff, babes.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, write that up for me. We'll sell it to the BBC.
I don't know, love. Yeah.
Okay.
That is a funny premise for them. Heil Hitler. I don't know. That's probably and it didn't even last for a season.
I think they might have only aired like 1 or 2 episodes before the BBC pulled it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not enough ratings.
No.
Not enough ratings.
No, Jaylo, no.
That's too bad.
No, Jaylo, no. Yes.
Yeah, not enough ratings.
We watched The Wire yesterday.
We did. I'm going to let you take this one because it was a pretty complicated episode.
It's so complicated. The basic recap is this. Everybody is dealing with the aftermath of Kima getting shot. From the police department, wondering what happens, to the Barksdale crew having to confront certain uncomfortable facts. Mm-hmm. Like now the police are going to be on them more because a cop just got shot.
And if she wakes up, she's going to put everybody in prison.
Yeah. So Weebay has to leave town. And there's a great scene where D'Angelo is in the car with Weebay and he doesn't know what's up. Mm-hmm. They stop at a house, they go in, and D'Angelo thinks that Weebay's about to kill him.
Yeah.
And then Weebay turns on the light and is like, "Okay, so you got to feed my fish."
I had to laugh at that when it's like, "Oh, look at these tanks," and I would imagine they look pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm going to show you how to do it, and then you're going to take over after you drive me to, I think it was Philadelphia. Then you're going to come back here.
Yeah, and take care of my fish.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! And he ushers him in the house with a gun.
Yeah.
Oh wow! And he's probably like, "Huh? Okay."
One of the scenes I liked is when they're at the hospital and McNulty starts throwing up. He sits down and he thinks that he's responsible for all this. And Rawls goes up to him and basically says, "I hate you, McNulty. You are one of the worst people I know. I hate you with all of my heart. but you're not responsible for this. And you can believe me, because if anybody would tell you the truth that you were responsible, I would, because of how much I hate you.
Yeah,
but you didn't cause this.
Yeah.
Not everything is about you. I love that scene.
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
I'm glad somebody told him. I don't know if I tell him that way, but I'm glad at least Rawls had the guts to tell him, because McNulty, he has his issues too.
Yeah.
And we know now that he's an alcoholic. We know now that he's got some issues with Rhonda Perlman because they've been seeing each other.
Yeah, and that he's arrogant.
And that he's really arrogant, and he thinks he's the best dad, but yet he lost one of his kids. Almost lost one of his kids. Or no, two of his kids.
Almost lost both of his kids.
Almost lost both of his kids because he was getting them to do his work for him.
Yep.
And he's not on good terms with his ex-wife. So he's got his own issues to worry about too. And I think he's like a pot of boiling water.
Yes.
Just waiting to just boil over and spill all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And cause a fire. I could just imagine him being like this seething pot of boiling water that just is only coming up to the surface and is about ready to explode.
That's one of the things I really like about McNulty, though, is he's not this perfect character. He's a good cop, but even there he has his issues.
Well, and Bubbles, I know Bubbles has been helping Kima.
Yeah.
He's not a perfect guy either.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit confused because I didn't know why. I wasn't, and maybe you know this more than I do, but I didn't know why he was taken in to questioning by Holly.
They explained it in the episode because he was paging 911 to Kima's phone, mm-hmm. and he was doing it nonstop.
Oh.
And this was right after she got shot. So they thought that either he was doing some sort of prank or he knew something.
Okay.
Yeah. And meanwhile, he's just trying to express to her that he's clean and he's trying to get out of that life.
Yeah.
And this goes back to McNulty. McNulty doesn't even listen to Bubbles as he's trying to express this. He just gives him $20 and says, okay, here's some money for your troubles. Yeah. Let us know what's going on the street.
Right. So he doesn't know anything about the background.
About Bubbles wanting to get clean.
Yeah.
But Bubbles told Kima that he was thinking about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And they did have a good rapport.
They did, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she called him Bub.
Yeah, he called him Bob.
He called him Bub. Bub.
Yes.
What was going on with Wallace? He kind of escaped to the countryside.
Remember, Wallace was freaked out that they killed Omar's boyfriend, Brandon.
Brandon, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
And he just needed a break from the city, so he went to see his grandma. And then Poot, at the end of the episode, or near it, is basically like, I'm going to send you some money so you can get back here.
Huh?
Because Wallace was freaked out because the country was so different than his life in the city.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
I think this is a really good episode.
It's definitely complex, I will say that.
What did you think of it?
There's just a lot of stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. Sometimes it's kind of hard to follow, but yeah, it's really interesting. I don't really like Rawls' character, but I'm glad that he was the one to actually tell McNulty what he thought of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
glad. I wouldn't have done it that way, but I'm glad that he was not afraid to tell McNulty what he thought and said, you're not responsible for this, even though I hate you. I would think I would do that to my worst enemy. I just stay away from them.
Oh, but Rawls is also his boss too.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen The Wire, I don't know, 2 or 3 times now.
Wow.
And we're watching it with audio description. There's still stuff that I miss.
Oh wow.
Because it is such a complex show.
I like the person who's audio describing it.
He's really good.
He's very good, yeah.
I also really like the scene with Rhonda, Levy, and McNulty, where he's basically just threatening Levy, hey, if you don't hand over your clients, this is what's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
But I love the scene after that where Rhonda basically there's a slight confrontation between her and McNulty.
And then he mentioned something about the future, and I think she commented something about their future, which it doesn't seem like they're going to have one.
Oh,
I don't know.
Keep watching, babes.
What do I know?
What do you know?
But there definitely is some conflict between the two of them.
Yeah. It's a good one, babes.
Shouldn't have gotten with a DA. It just could cause any problems.
Well, ended his marriage with Elena.
I know, exactly. Yeah. He shouldn't have gotten with Rhonda.
That's right there, Jaylo.
Yeah, Wanda is trouble, and so is he.
Oh. Very good, babes.
Very good.
It sounds like you enjoyed this episode overall.
I guess.
Yeah.
It was just a little bit complex. I mean, generally speaking, the show is really not my show, but
but there are elements of it.
There are elements of it, yeah.
And I really like that the writing staff, a lot of them were ex-Baltimore police officers. Oh, wow. Because it makes it feel more real, you know?
It could possibly happen in somebody else's neighborhood.
Well, it's not only that, but they're writing... A lot of characters are based on people who they actually knew, and the show was shot in Baltimore, in the areas where they say it was shot.
What was eerie at the end of the... And I'm going to mention really quick before we move on. What was eerie about the ending of the episode is you see Kima just lying there motionless.
Yep.
Hooked up to wires.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what's going to happen to her.
Oh.
Doesn't look good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff there, babes.
Interesting stuff. I'm not sure what to think about Daniels yet.
Yeah, because McNulty was told by his friend that Daniels is a dirty cop.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
I don't know what to think about him yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. The actor who plays him is great, though.
He is.
I'm assuming, at the very least, you enjoy the acting on the show.
Oh, for sure. There's nobody on the show that I think is a horrible actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. They really do know how to act their parts. Even the guys who play the drug dealers, I really think that they do a really good job, and they did a good job in picking the cast. Even Stringer Bell, even Avon.
It's so crazy. You know? It's so crazy that Stringer Bell is now a big star.
Yeah. What is so really quickly, and we should talk about the movies. What did they say in All the Pieces Matter about the people that were actually playing drug dealers that weren't I know Omar did have some issues with drugs.
Yeah.
What about how did Andre Previn handle that?
I'm
sorry, not Andre Previn.
Andre Royal.
I'm sorry.
What?
Andre Previn was Mia Farrow's
husband. He did not handle it well, Andre Previn. But Andre Royal, I think I may have told you this, but in the book there's a story about how one day he's at craft services getting something to eat, and I think this was during the first season, so they shot it before it aired. Somebody who was a crew member came up to him and tried to run him off the set because he thought that he was just some drug addict who had snuck onto the set of The Wire. He didn't know that he was an actor on the show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That had to be crazy. Did they interview the guy who played Sidnor and Bunk? And
they did. I know the Bunk...
actually, you told me about Bunk.
Yeah, yes. I told you about Bunk. I don't remember much about the Sidnor interview, though, because it's mixed throughout the book. All the pieces matter.
Okay.
But if you're a fan of The Wire, I think that's a really good book.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they kind of had to get into their roles.
Exactly. And they hired somebody who was convicted of murder and went to prison and got out.
Yeah, I remember you told me about her.
As an actress on the show, and then she became a professional actress.
Yeah, I remember you told me about her.
Yeah, she's Snoop, but she doesn't appear until season 3 of the show. And she's really good on it.
And Snoop is her name on the streets.
Yeah, in the show.
In the show, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was her actual street name.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, she killed somebody, went to prison, but she was a juvenile at the time, got out, and a year later, she's cast on The Wire because Michael K. Williams saw her at a club.
Wow.
And I think Michael K. Williams told some story about how he got really high one night, and Barack Obama was running for president. he goes to the rally, and Obama spots him and says, "You're Omar from The Wire," and gives a shout out to Michael K. Williams as he's high on drugs.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Who was the guy who played Wallace again?
He's a big star now too. Yeah. Michael B. Jordan.
Thank you.
He's a huge star now.
Michael B. Jordan. I keep thinking it's Michael K. Williams, but there's
no.
The two Michaels.
Michael B. Jordan is in the new Rocky movies.
Oh wow.
He was in the first Black Panther film. So he's doing well. Wow. And he was on some other show that I keep hearing great things about called Friday Night Lights.
I heard of Friday Night Lights, but I never watched it. It was on NBC.
Yeah, and it's obviously based on the book and the film.
It's about football, right?
Yeah, something like that. I think high school football, maybe.
Okay, I never watched it.
I've read the book, but I haven't watched the TV show, so I don't know how much it deviates from that.
Was the book good?
Yeah, the book was good.
Was it based on a true story, or was it...
Yeah, it's basically this reporter goes to this small town in, I want to say, Texas, that has a pretty good football team, and he lives there for a year in the mid-'80s. Basically writes what happens.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I read it a while back, though, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think it's on anymore. I just remember it being on, I think it was in the mid to late 2000s.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
And Wallace, a.k.a. Michael B. Jordan, is one of the stars. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if former basketball player Michael Jordan has heard of Michael B. Jordan.
I'm sure he has.
Yeah. Like, oh wow, Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah. I heard Michael Jordan hates rap music. Not only just doesn't like it, but it actively hates it.
Well, it's not everybody's thing, you know.
That's true.
Not everybody in the Black community will like rap.
But everybody in the Rick community said like rap.
Oh my goodness.
Keep going.
Well, and some people in the Black community like heavy metal, like the group Death.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So they have their own thing, you know.
No, but I wasn't saying because he's black.
No, I know, but not everybody in that world, not everybody in the sports world or in the Black community or whatever. I'm just saying, generally speaking.
Yeah.
Not everybody's gonna like rap or hip hop.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, of course I know that.
Bubs.
Yeah, I know that, babes. But I'm saying
Bubby.
Because he grew up in a certain time, I thought maybe he'd be somewhat, open to rap music.
Well, yeah.
And also he's mentioned in a lot of rap songs.
Well, maybe his thing is like old school R&B or R&B in general.
And that could also just be an internet rumor too.
Yes. Like the one about Rod Stewart.
Exactly.
Or the one about Richard Gere.
Yes. Yeah. We'll bring up every old woman, peeps.
Or the one about Jamie Lee Curtis. Anyway.
Yes. Where are we going?
Anyway, let's go to the movie.
Yes, or the one about Kevin Kline.
Oh, we got to mention dinner because we had a really good dinner last night.
Tell me.
So I marinated the pork for my pork adobo the night before.
Mm-hmm.
The I think it was the afternoon before last night. And
Friday afternoon,
yes. It turned out so good. I'm glad I marinated it the day before. I put it in there because you suggested I put it in the slow cooker after 10.
Yes.
And so it was in there for quite a while. We start making preparations for the rice and the garlic knots, which actually turned out to be rolls.
Yeah.
This was around 2:15.
Mm-hmm.
Got finished by about 4. And as soon as you took the rolls out, I turned off and unplugged my slow cooker, and the rice was just about ready. Rice turned out so good. The pork turned out really tender and flavorful with the peppercorns. And even though I don't like peppercorns, but I do. And it turned out really good.
Yeah.
And then you took out the rolls, which ended up being rolls and not knots, but the rosemary really made it just really taste good. And the garlic.
I got to tell you something.
What's that?
I posted a picture of the garlic rolls on Facebook this morning.
Yep.
And I'm not into egg wash, which a lot of people will do to make things look, more sparkly.
Yep. more polished.
Yeah, and we also didn't use butter because you can sometimes use butter for that. So I wrote on Facebook, there's no egg wash used with these. So they might look a little bit undercooked, but they tasted good. And a friend of mine who is totally blind wrote, "You're right, these do look undercooked."
Totally blind?
Yeah.
Oh. As a joke?
Yes.
You're right, it does look undercooked.
Yes.
Someone I didn't meet yet.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
That's pretty funny.
Okay.
A ghoul?
No, a guy.
A guy. That's hilarious. You're right, they do look undercooked. But it seems like a couple people like the adobo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff, babes.
It turned out really good.
It did.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think I have too many leftovers, but...
You have a lot of sauce.
I have a lot of sauce, which will be good anyway. I like just eating, even though it's just sauce, it'll be good with, it will be good on my rice.
Or you could pour it in like an old Pepsi bottle and just drink it.
Ew! Bubs.
What?
Why do you have to make things so gross?
Because you like that.
No.
That's why.
I like Pepsi in a Pepsi bottle. Ugh.
Oh my goodness.
Bubs.
Well, you know what you could do, babes?
What?
If you make rice, instead of pouring it over the rice, you could cook it instead of just using regular water.
That could be true. It doesn't always, I mean, I would add a little bit of water just to make it a little bit more moist. But yeah. Okay. There are times where I did cook rice in cream of mushroom soup.
Yeah.
The only problem is cream of mushroom soup is really, really messy.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm like, there has to be a better way to do that. Yeah.
Nice.
It turned out really good.
Nice.
Anywho.
We did that. I fire up the old VPN because in America...
Yeah, like the Miss America pageant.
You, despite all the freedoms we have, you can't currently watch Beaches on Disney Plus, but it is available on Disney Plus in Europe.
Which is really weird, actually. I don't understand how that works. And
you wanted to watch that movie with Blossom.
Let me explain that. So this came out in 1989. It stars Bette Midler, and I didn't know that it also starred Barbara Hershey, because I'm not familiar with Barbara Hershey's work here. But
B&H.
So in the beginning of the movie, Bette Midler, who plays Cece Bloom, is getting ready to perform.
Or B&B. Keep going.
Bubs.
What?
Stop it.
Sorry.
Is getting ready to perform in San Francisco, I believe it was.
She was a treat.
Bubs!
All right, go ahead, bitch.
She's not rice-a-roni.
Okay.
Anyway, that's a San Francisco treat, apparently. Anyway, and she receives notice that something is wrong with her best friend, Hillary Whitney. And we don't know what's going on, and we don't know what's going on at the time, but they flash back to the time where Hillary Whitney meets Cece Bloom, who by now is a big child star, and she's played by young Cece is played by Mayim Bialik. This is pre-Blossom, by the way.
May I interrupt you for a second?
What?
She's not a big child star.
Okay,
she's a child performer.
Okay, whatever. Okay, just let me. Okay, no. She wasn't. Okay, let me clear that up. She thinks she's a big child star. That she will be a big child star, but she's not really well known yet.
Okay.
She's a child performer on some kid show.
No, she's not.
Bubs.
May I explain this real quick?
Oh, go ahead. She thinks she is. She thinks she will be.
She does an act for a hotel in Miami.
Okay. All right.
When you say big kid show, it makes it sound like she's on TV.
Okay. She thinks that she's going to be some big star someday, is what I'm trying to say. And she's not well known. She's just act like she's a child star because she has an act in a hotel.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yes. Hillary Whitney is this rich girl, and she befriends Cece Bloom, and Cece Bloom is like this spoiled little girl that does everything she wants to. Even calls her mom by her first name, Leona, which I think is really weird. Yeah. So Hillary and Cece are getting to know each other. I think this happens before. Oh yeah, this happens after the audition. Cece Bloom goes in for an audition, does pretty well, but then her competitor is this little girl named Iris who does this like dance routine. What?
I don't know if I say she does pretty well. She does okay.
She does okay.
Yeah. And she doesn't get the part.
She doesn't get the part, and she gets very annoyed. Hillary sees her and says, "Hey, you did really, really good out there. I thought you were like really amazing, and I think you're an amazing person." Hillary decides to treat her to a soda at the soda place, and she says, "Hey, you're not, huh?"
It's at the hotel lobby.
It's at the hotel lobby, and she says, "Hey, you kids can't be here." And it's like, "Well, actually, my name is Hillary Whitney, and my father is very rich, and I think that you should give us sodas." And she's like, "Wow, that's different." How did you do that? It's like, "Well, because I'm rich. My father's rich."
Yeah, I don't think she phrased it quite like that, but the point is well taken, though.
Yeah, she basically ordered the guy to give them sodas.
Yep.
They didn't stay there for very long because Hillary's Aunt Vesta is looking for her, and she thinks that Cece's really weird.
Yes.
Cece decides. Cece eventually tells Hillary that they're going to write to each other. They both decide to write to each other. Cece goes back home to the Bronx. Yes. And fill in, please, if you'd like.
Time goes by. They are pen pals. Cece gets more and more into singing, while Hillary goes to law school. Eventually, one night, Cece is at a club, and your girl Hillary comes there. Yep. And Hillary said, I just left my life and all my money, and I was feeling like I was too much in control, being controlled by my dad. He even told me what type of law I had to practice.
Yep.
Hillary moves in with Cece, and eventually Cece becomes attracted to this guy named John who runs a playhouse.
But John initially was attracted to Hillary.
Exactly.
And Hillary and John had some kind of an interlude. Cece wasn't very happy with that. And what?
But luckily, Cece's dad is dying.
Hillary's dad is dying. She has to go back.
Mm-hmm.
She has to go back to the mansion.
Great news for Cece.
Oh my goodness.
She moves in and gets with John. A couple years go by. Hillary also gets married to some lawyer dude.
Michael Essex.
Yep. And Cece becomes more and more successful.
Yep.
Hillary goes out to visit her. There's a little bit of tension there. Cece doesn't understand why. Hillary moves away. Cece's career is doing better, but there's conflicts between her and John.
To the marriage. John is threatening to leave her. Hillary finds out that her husband is seeing another woman, and right as she finds this out, she finds out that she's also 3 months pregnant.
Yeah, she's preggers.
So Hillary comes back to New York because I think Hillary lived in New Jersey. I think it was.
No, I thought she lived on the West Coast. But maybe I'm wrong.
Hillary, I don't remember actually. I think she might have moved to California. I don't remember. Anyway, so she comes back, and both her and Hillary come to visit with John and Cece and all that.
That was earlier.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I covered that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so she comes back without Michael because they're already divorced. And Cece insists on taking care of Hillary.
Yep.
And she can't even watch the birth because she's so she finally passes out. But I think, should I mention
do we want to give every story?
I'm not going to mention everything, but you got to see it.
Yeah.
So she passes out, And she sees that Hillary has a little girl and names her Victoria Cecilia after Cece.
Nice. Okay. Cece goes to work on her career. Hillary's working on raising the little crumb cruncher.
Oh my goodness.
That's what they call kids, don't they?
No.
Crumb crunchers?
No.
I thought that's what they called kids.
Bubs.
Okay.
Maybe Rugrats, but
I've heard crumb crunchers.
From who?
From people over the years.
Basically. No, you made it up.
Oh, no, I did not.
Oh.
Okay.
Rugrats.
And eventually we discover that Hillary has some weird heart condition, is probably going to die soon, and as a result doesn't want to do much else. Mm-hmm. Cece comes back to be with her and the kid. They decide to go off to leave the Whitney mansion.
And go to the beach house.
Exactly.
Where I'm guessing it was in the family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hillary just wants to chill in the bedroom and let the kid run around.
She doesn't want to do anything anymore because she wants to stop living. She's just tired, and Cece snaps her out of it.
Yep. Comes back to life. Go their separate ways. Hillary dies in a pretty predictable manner. And there's a funeral. Cece tells the little girl, hey, your mom said that you can come and live with me. I'm in the will as the guardian. I don't know if you want that. And then they leave. Cece sings something at a nightclub. Then her and the little girl walk into the darkness. And that's the end.
And that's it, yeah.
Yes. I have some issues with this movie. I think the death scene could have been handled a lot better.
How do you think she should have died?
Well, it's not how I think she should have died, but I think having the little girl be the one that finds her, I know that happens in real life, but it just felt a little bit too predictable. Yeah. And it's right as they're getting ready to leave.
Yeah.
To go and see Cece in New York. And I also didn't get why they had to leave the estate.
I don't know either. It's never explained.
Yeah.
Was she supposed to get it eventually, and it's just supposed to be there? Because she left pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Except for her cat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're assuming that.
Well, I mean, why couldn't Cece just stay with her?
And we're assuming that the little girl Victoria is going to hit the mother load as far as money goes. So does that mean that Cece is, because she's her guardian now, is getting a lot of money to take care of her? And I know that's not her motivation.
No. Well, she did tell Victoria that she doesn't know how good of a mom she would be because she's very self-centered and selfish. Mm-hmm. She always thought of herself, and it's pretty apparent when the one scene where her mom sees her again and
sees Cece.
Yes. And Leona sees Cece again and says, "You wanted all the attention. You wanted everybody to pay attention to you."
Yeah.
But my question is, well, who raised her?
Exactly.
Who raised her to be a brat?
Yes.
But I think now it's a time for Cece to stop thinking of herself now.
Oh.
Are you laughing?
No.
Okay.
I don't believe in that.
I will say this. I think that Bette Midler and Mayim Bialik really did play Bubs.
Go ahead, babes.
Stop it. I honestly think that Mayim Bialik and Bette Midler did really play Cece Bloom very well, especially Bette Midler.
Yeah.
I mean, she really seems like she could be a diva.
And because she is a singer, it almost feels like this character is somewhat loosely based on her.
Yeah, I can imagine her being a total diva.
Or at the very least, maybe that's a step too far, but it's possible that the writer and director of this film worked in character traits that belong to Bette Midler into her role.
Right.
But I don't know that for sure.
I don't know either.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
Yes.
Your family's already seen this movie.
Many times.
Oh.
Yeah, I've seen this movie when I was a kid several times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would ever watch it again, but I'm glad that I saw it, this time.
Yeah.
I'd give it a 7.
Yeah, I'd give it a 7 too.
Yeah. Not much more to say since they've already been recommended. Since they've already seen it, they're able, so you can't recommend it to them.
Yeah, I can't. I can't because we've seen it many times.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then we watched a really interesting documentary on HBO Max called Mr. Soul.
Mr. Soul.
What was the gentleman's name?
Ellis Hayslip.
Ellis Hayslip. So in the late 60s, the PBS station in New York started doing a couple of shows aimed at Black audiences. One of them being Black Journal.
Yep.
Another one that was called Soul.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a couple of different hosts before Ellis Hayslip, but he was a producer of it. There was like this educator.
Right, the professor. Yep.
That was a super interesting story.
That wasn't a super interesting story.
About how he worked at this affluent school.
Yep.
And by day and then by night he would put on this wild outfit.
Yeah.
And go and host Soul.
Yeah.
But he only did it for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, and he's like, I just can imagine some kid coming up to me and like, Dr. So-and-so, is that you?
There was a guy before him too. I forget what his name is.
Yeah, I forgot who he was.
But Ellis was the host for most of the series.
Yep.
And it was basically this revolutionary show, TV series, that was like the Black version of The Tonight Show in a way for PBS that nobody talks about today.
Mm.
There were a couple of times during this film where I think we both looked at each other and one of us would say, I can't believe I never heard about this show.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, before you told me about this documentary, I had no idea that there was a show like that.
And I didn't even really know what it was about. It seemed like an interesting title. And it said something like the first Black Tonight Show in the description. So I'm like, okay, I'm interested.
Yeah.
But he would have really cool guests on. Nikki Giovanni, Sonia Sanchez, The Last Poets.
And some of these people were very controversial with their content.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the idea behind it is that these young Black people who they were targeting felt like they didn't have a voice, and they felt like they also didn't have a voice. So I could kind of understand that. And things were happening during that time, riots and fighting and things of that sort.
But they also just had cool musical performance.
The Delphonics.
They dedicated an episode to the Blue Note label.
Yep.
Which is actually on YouTube, but I want to watch it now.
Mm-hmm.
Stevie Wonder was on it. They also had these ballet performers on it, which is a blind person. Doesn't that sound that compelling? But I could see if you're sighted why you would want to watch something like that.
They had a Black contortionist.
Yeah.
Yep.
They also... So Ellis was gay, but like most people at the time, he didn't really talk about it with that many people.
Yeah.
And there's an interesting scene in the film where they show him interviewing Minister Louis Farrakhan. And Ellis tries to ask him if gay people are allowed in the Nation of Islam.
Mm-hmm.
In the film, there's a lady, I'm not sure what her title was. This film also did not have audio description.
Yeah.
But I get the sense that she worked on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And she tries to word it as Ellis got Louis Farrakhan to say that gay people are welcome in the nation. I don't know if I believe that. I'd have to watch it for myself.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Because and this is judging on things that I've heard him say in the past about Jewish people.
Yeah.
Too. Because he was known as a very much an anti-Semite.
He still is known for that.
And he's still an anti-Semite. I mean, you call them termites.
Mm-hmm.
Which is horrible, horrible, horrible. I do not support that.
No.
So, and I'm thinking to myself, well, why would he be supportive of homosexuals, and not be supportive of Jewish people? You know what I mean?
I hear you.
But I thought it was interesting, and I think her name was Loretta Long, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Because she worked on the show. But that may have been her or somebody else, but I thought it was kind of interesting. I also would like to say that it was interesting that Nikki Giovanni put her poetry to music.
Yeah.
But I also thought it was interesting that she was using a gospel choir, because usually what gospel choirs sing about is very contrary to her kind of poetry. I mean, that's basically what I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but a lot of people liked it.
It was super cool. Yeah. And I think Ellis let her host 1 or 2 episodes, because they say that she interviewed James Baldwin and it was a 2-hour interview. So I'm guessing it was stretched out over 2 episodes, and Ellis let her do that. Mm. I want to watch that. I want to they play clips of it, but I want to see the full 2 hours of Nikki Giovanni talking with James Baldwin in London.
Yeah.
That sounds very interesting to me.
Yeah. And I need to look at James Baldwin's poems, because I thought maybe I might have read one of them, or essays rather.
I thought he also wrote plays, but he's an interesting writer. There's a documentary about him on PBS, oddly enough, but there's a profile that the New Yorker did on him in, I want to say 62, that I would recommend that you read.
An autobiography on him?
A profile on him.
A profile?
In the New Yorker.
Yeah, I think it might have been something I read, and I thought it was called Sonny Sings the Blues, but I have to look at that, because I read it in the early 2000s when I was still in college. Mm-hmm. And what I did with that reading is I did a presentation using jazz music.
Nice.
Yeah. And I thought that turned out pretty well.
Oh?
Yeah.
This documentary is really good, and we have talked about Richard Nixon before. I have always said, because I study history and you don't, that Richard Nixon...
Well, not history on him.
Okay.
Doesn't mean I wouldn't.
That Richard Nixon was racist. And you, because he was a Republican, you were inclined to disagree with me.
Well, I didn't really have much to say about it, because I don't know much about Richard Nixon.
But they played audio from him in this documentary.
Yeah, I know. I heard it for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree with you on that.
Actually. What's your take on him now?
I understand the discord that people had with him, and that some people thought he was a crook, some people didn't think he was a crook, and I've heard so many things about the Nixon tapes, and he was a controversial president.
Yeah, he hired people to break in to the DNC.
Yeah. So I think my mind has changed. I mean, I didn't really have much to say about the race thing, because I don't know about Richard Nixon, but I think in this documentary, it definitely exposes it.
Yes.
So I can't really say that he wasn't, because it exposed it.
Basically, Nixon had issues with black people being on television. And back in this day, there weren't a lot of black people on television, at least not on starring roles in sitcoms, with the exception of like Julia or 1 or 2 other series. And I don't even know if Julia was a sitcom. It's just a show that I know existed, but I never watched it. And it was about a black nurse.
And that was in the 50s?
Late 60s, early 70s.
I never even heard of that one either.
Yeah. But he couldn't really just come out and say black people aren't allowed on television. But what he could do is, since the government controlled the finances of PBS, is he could get people on the board of PBS who would not really be favorable to black television programs. Mm-hmm. And he basically systematically worked to get another show called Black Journal and Soul canceled from PBS, get their funding removed.
Yeah. And I understand at the time that was a time of censorship, right?
Yeah.
And there were some things on Soul and shows like that were very controversial, and a lot of people were uncomfortable with it, and I think some people also in the black community were uncomfortable with it, and I get that. But what they could have said was, hey, there might be things that you may not be comfortable with on the show, but there are other shows you can watch, instead of just saying, hey, we want these shows off the air.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you're a black person, there weren't a lot of other shows like that on TV, if any, at that time.
Exactly. And this was a time of this was a time of turmoil and warfare, and there were people had their reservations about the Black Panther Party, and things going on in the streets. So it was a time of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Luther King was shot. John F. Kennedy was shot. Bobby Kennedy was shot. And, a lot of people didn't like that.
Leading up to the creation of Soul.
Right.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of things that people were dealing with. So I kind of understood. I was trying to keep an open mind about why people were so angry.
Yeah, and Ellis himself, it's not like he's in his guest's face just yelling at them. He's this very calm, quiet dude who just happens to host this super ultra left-leaning talk show.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there are some people that were not comfortable with a liberal talk show like this.
Mm-hmm.
But as I've said before, I mean, there will be controversial stuff in any kind of show.
Absolutely.
Whether or not they lean the way that you lean, or whether they lean the way that other people lean that you don't agree with.
And it's usually the shows that are a little bit out there that get remembered.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll never forget it. What I thought was so interesting was when that one of the people that worked on his show was saying, hey, there's a lot of money on the show. A lot of people want to take it. Why don't you want to continue it? And I know I'm paraphrasing, but Ellis pretty much said, if they don't understand it, then just let it go. And I think what he was trying to say, and I told you this earlier, that, hey, if they're not going to understand it the first time, then they're not going to understand it the next time.
I get that, and part of me wishes that I could shake Ellis and say, fight for this thing.
Exactly.
Because it's such a unique thing, especially in the early 70s.
But I think also, judging by what happened 3 days before it ended...
Yeah, we're going to get to that.
We're going to get to that, yeah.
But I think that the conversation he had with his staff member was prior to that.
Right. Prior to that, yes.
But it's also possible, too, Ellis might have just been burned out with doing the show.
Yeah.
Because he was such a quiet guy on air, at least.
And he didn't want to be the life of the party.
Yeah. Yeah, so I could see it from his perspective, too, of this show is a lot of work. Yes, it's fun. Yes, people enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it has its upsides, but it's not as rewarding as just being a private citizen.
And maybe Ellis didn't know that he could just give it to another network and it could continue on with somebody else.
Well, first of all, you're a little bit off.
What
the person was saying in the documentary was, we have a bunch of people who are willing to protest Channel 13, the PBS station,
right.
because they weren't going to give them funding.
Yeah.
And if we go to the streets with this, we might be able to get them to find the money so that we can continue doing the show.
Right. No, I understood that.
Yeah. I don't think he could have taken it to another network. And if he did, I think it would have been very much diluted. Like, one of the good things about PBS, and it gets a little bit tricky because they do have underwriters, but they don't have commercials. And so there's less pressure from sponsors.
Uh-huh.
So it's like Johnny Carson was never going to have the Last Poets on the show.
Because it was his show.
Because it was his show, and because NBC would have had many issues with that.
Right.
But Ellis could have done it because PBS, their underwriters are less in the mix than commercial sponsors.
Yeah. But I think, he knew when it was time to end it.
I'm mixed about that because...
I am too. Because what would have happened if it was on for 20 more years?
That's what Questlove basically says.
Yeah.
And I more fall into the Questlove category But then I also think if Ellis was burned out after 5 years of doing this, and we don't really know because he died in 1991, so he's not interviewed in this documentary, although there's audio from him. But it's possible that the show just would have gone downhill. Or even worse, it's possible that it just would have gotten boring, but it's also possible that the show would have become super successful and he would have changed the format. And then it's just like every other show on TV. Except with the black host, which is still great, but it's not. It could have been diluted over the years had it stayed on. So let's get to the tragedy.
Yeah.
3 days before the final episode airs, Ellis had a sister, Janet, who had a few children. The youngest had a kidney disease.
He was his name was John, and I think he was 5.
Yep. They had moved from DC to Ohio?
I can't. Oh, Kansas City.
Kansas City.
I think it might have been Kansas or Missouri. I'm not sure.
Okay. On Janet's 40th birthday, she takes John into the garage. They get into the car. She rolls up the window and kills both of them.
It's really sad.
3 days before the taping of the last episode of Soul.
Yeah.
That must have been a very intense week for him.
Yep.
On so many different levels.
Yeah.
I mean, on one level, you think he's not even in the final show, meaning mentally.
Yep.
Right? But also, he obviously did his job. And yet, I'm sure his mind was more on what's going on with my family.
Yeah, and he was really close to his sister Janet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't really put my head around what that last week was like for him.
Lost two of his family members, his sister and his nephew.
Yeah.
And he didn't even and his nephew didn't deserve to go.
No.
And she didn't have to do this. I mean, I wonder, like, who could she talk to about it before deciding to do that to her and her son?
Mm-hmm.
And what about the other kids and her husband?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He's left with maybe not, no, he probably, I mean, who knows if he even knows about how deep her feelings were about killing herself.
I think in the documentary it's implied that he didn't know.
Right.
But we don't know that for sure because you didn't really talk about it.
Didn't really talk about it back
then.
Dead now. Right. It's so sad.
Yeah.
It really is so sad that those lives were cut very short.
Mm-hmm.
Very short. And then he decides to end the show.
Yeah, I mean, the decision had already been made.
The decision was already, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't contradict what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean?
Go ahead.
The decision was made to end the show, and then this happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that had to be a very trying week.
Yeah, and then I don't know what his later years were like, really.
Yeah.
I want to read a book on this dude.
Because this ended in 1973.
Yeah, and he died in 91.
Wow.
I hope that there's a book about him that I can read.
Yeah.
I went on YouTube after this, and there are full episodes of Soul online.
Huh?
I'm really curious to get into the special they did on Blue Note and all the other episodes. And again, I really want to watch that Nikki Giovanni interview with James Baldwin, if I can find it.
Mm. It might be on there, yeah.
Yeah. The obvious question, and we've both asked it, is, but I'm going to ask you it again. How did we get to the age we are now, being into the type of music we are, and we didn't know about this TV show until last night?
Well, you knew about it before me.
No, I didn't.
Or, I'm sorry, you heard about this documentary.
I heard about the documentary.
I don't know. Because we weren't even born then.
But we know about other shows.
We know about other shows that we watched in syndication when we were younger, but I don't know why I never heard of the show. And maybe it's because I wouldn't have known where to look.
That's a good point.
Yeah, we wouldn't have known where to look, to tell you the truth.
And people don't talk about this series, really.
No.
I've never heard Nikki Giovanni reference it in interviews, or if I did, it went over my head, or anybody else talk about it.
I didn't even know about Black Journal.
Yeah.
And I've heard about, and they showed a clip from Soul Train, which I did watch when I was a kid. I enjoyed that show. And I enjoyed other shows like Solid Gold, the variety shows. And they were comparing it to some variety shows too. But this one was a different one.
It was.
Just like I didn't know about the Harlem Culture Festival.
Yeah.
That had to be a fun time. I didn't know about that until Summer of Soul.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm glad that, they're talking about it now. I just wish I would have known about it sooner.
I've already recommended this movie to 3 different people via text message.
Yeah.
Before we get to the obvious question of would you recommend this to your family, are you going to watch any episodes of Soul online on YouTube?
Possibly, especially the music stuff, because you know how I'm so into music, especially the music stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I might do that.
Are you going to tell your family about this movie, and how do you explain it to them?
I think I would say this is something that, well, and plus I don't even know if my parents heard about it, because at that time they were still in the Philippines.
Yeah, and it's possible too that even if you lived in the US, because it's a PBS series, that you wouldn't know about it.
Right.
Even back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just explain it to them. This was a show that I didn't hear about until I saw the documentary, and apparently it was a revolutionary show to showcase Black art and to give young Black people who are coming up a voice because of the times that they were living in. So
it does sound like you would recommend it to your family.
Oh yeah, I would. I think they would really think. I think they might actually enjoy it, and they might think about it from a different perspective.
I don't think, as progressive as our media is today, that we could have another series like Soul. I was telling you that people would say, oh yeah, we could definitely do that, but you couldn't do it without having a watered down version. So I imagine if they tried to bring it back today, they might have a Black host, but they'd have like a 22-year-old white lady co-hosting it. Or you'd have to have like a rapping white grandmother on every other episode.
I don't know if they do that.
You know what I mean? But you get my drift. Like, it would be very different now.
I don't think that it was definitely a show for its time. I don't think you could mimic something like that. I really don't. It has to be really authentic, and that was an authentic show.
Yeah, I said maybe you could do a podcast of this.
For sure.
If you were to bring it back.
You could do like a podcast where they run all the seasons of Soul or talk about
I would
Soul.
listen to that.
I would too.
Yeah.
I would too. But I don't know that they would be putting it on the TV anytime soon.
No.
Yeah. It was definitely an authentic show for its time.
Yeah, and in some ways, maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think that leaving a show like that untouched, it's probably better.
And the way it's designed, you almost have to leave it untouched.
Yeah, because there is no other show like it, for sure. No other show like it. No other show that could push people's buttons. No other show that showcased the acts that they had. Oh, I'm sure they could try, but this was a different show.
Yeah. There's a portion of the film where Ellis is asking people to write in. And I'm assuming that show, he could show everybody at PBS how much support they have.
Yeah, and then they were writing letters and saying that we have that show on more than once a week.
Well,
more than whatever.
The letter that I think you're referring to, which stuck out to me, is somebody wrote in and said, we have this big, nice TV, and we only use it twice a week. once to watch Soul when it airs live, and the other time is when we watch the repeat of Soul.
Yeah, that was great.
That was.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what it's like, or what it was like, being a younger person and you're flipping through the channels one night and you discover Soul and realize that it's this hip underground thing that not a lot of people talk about.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what else it makes me think of, Babes?
Yes.
Is what other like really cool TV shows were there that we just don't know about?
You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I guess we wouldn't know because we didn't know about this one.
We would have to ask people that grew up in the late 60s and early 70s about that.
Yeah.
The ones that were teenagers.
I want to see if the director of this film made anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'd be interested to watch their work.
Who directed it?
I don't know. I'm going to have to go on IMDb or Wikipedia to find that out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Good.
Yeah, good.
But I told my sister about it. I hope she likes it. I think she will.
I have a feeling she will if she likes music and the arts, as we both do.
Mm-hmm.
I think she would be interested in watching it. And she probably asked the same question: why did I not know about this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why did I not know about this?
Absolutely.
But I was I was a young kid in Hawaii, and they probably, I probably wouldn't have heard about it anyway because, they weren't playing those kinds of things on PBS stations back then anyway.
No, and you were born after the series had already left.
Much later, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so were you.
So was I, even later.
But you were in Portland.
I was in Portland. And I don't know that it aired out here in Portland. Portland has this reputation as being hip.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that we got a lot later than the rest of the country.
Yeah, like I didn't even know that there were some songs that I heard before you.
Yeah.
On the radio. I'm like, really? They played that? They played that that's interesting. I'm like, oh, that's different.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I thought maybe you would have been
ahead of the
crew. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe now, but not back in the 90s. And certainly I can't speak to the 70s, but I would imagine they didn't have this show out here.
Right.
But who knows?
Who knows?
Jaylo?
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say about Soul?
No. It definitely makes you think for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, it definitely makes you think, and yeah.
Well, good.
I wonder though, now that we're talking about Soul and Ellis Hayslip, I wonder if he felt any apprehension of any of his guests besides Louis Farrakhan, because Louis Farrakhan was definitely controversial, but he dealt with it so well.
Yeah.
I wonder if there was any guests that he thought of having on, but he thought, I don't know if I want to have this person on my show.
That's actually a really good question.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be interested to know that. I'd be interested to know if the staff felt that way when they knew somebody was coming on that maybe they had issues with.
Right.
What kind of pushback he got from PBS before the series got canceled. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, was he ever approached to bring Soul back? Like maybe a couple years later after Nixon's out of office, did PBS ever say, hey, we'd like your series back or a version of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I want to find out more about Ellis Hayslip.
I wonder what goes, and if you're thinking about shows in general, I mean, not just the shows that we grew up with in the 80s and 90s, like talk shows and stuff. I wonder what goes into preparing a program, and if they're going to have a controversial person, and it's like, do we have them on? Do we not have them on?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of back and forth, and for many different reasons. It's not only offending your audience, but also, are the sponsors going to be cool if we have somebody on who badmouths McDonald's on the regular?
Well, I saw a show, and I believe it's a full show, when Sally Jesse Raphael invited a group of skinheads. And one of the skinheads who was a part of the that group was dating someone who was a non-skinhead, a girl.
Yeah.
and the dad was trying to help this kid. I don't know what went into the show, but I thought, oh, this is really kind of this is very controversial.
And the other thing I'm thinking, maybe that's another reason we never heard about this show, is because it didn't get replayed. So series like Star Trek or The Twilight Zone, they ran in syndication. We got to watch their reruns. But maybe this show was so far out there that that's why something like VH1 never put it back on TV. And just the reruns of it. You know.
Of Star Trek.
Well, of Soul.
Of Soul, wow.
You know, like we never saw it on reruns as kids.
No, we never did. No, not at all.
Yeah. But maybe that's because it was so controversial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Huh.
Yeah. Interesting stuff, babes.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes. We only made the best of the variety shows that we knew about.
Huh?
We only saw the variety shows that we knew about. Yep.
Exactly. We didn't see talk shows like this.
Did you watch Soul Train when you were a kid?
Not really. I heard about it, but it wasn't really
fun.
my jam.
I mean, I liked the music about that was being played on it, and people. It was just basically a show for people to dance. Mm-hmm. Yep, it was a fun show though. I liked it, and I watched American Bandstand.
Good.
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 Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes. Somewhere there is an alternative reality where Ellis was bigger than Johnny Carson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And there's two people doing a podcast about, I never knew there was this show hosted by a white guy back in the 60s named Johnny Carson.
Oh my goodness. What else?
Yes.
What else?
Yes.
That's silly.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Well, babes.
Yep.
Is there anything else you want to discuss?
No, I don't think so. We talked about a lot.
We did.
Yes. We certainly did.
Yes. I would like a kiss because this will be my first time.
No, it won't.
Okay.
No, it won't.
Okay.
I know it won't for sure.
Okay. What else?
I know you like to pretend like it is.
Oh my God.
Bubs.
It's my first kiss, babes. What do you expect?
Stop making weird noises. Bubs.
Babes, I've never been kissed before. Give me a little bit of leeway here, okay?
Bubs.
Okay.
Stop
For real
it.
this time. Don't mess around, babes.
Oh, no, you
it's
don't.
It's a little bit distracting.
No, you don't mess around.
I know I don't. So you don't either.
You silly.
Trying to set a good example for you, babes. It's hard sometimes.
Oh, whatever.
All right. Anything else?
No.
All right. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.